is a good, clean hit. This is what hockey's about.
Drain number 11. He is strong.
Here it comes, Messier.
Messier with a big hit. A 9.9 hit by Messier.
Well, the check of the tournament, without a doubt.
Wow. So here's a question. Did the Russians fear Gretzky and Lemieux? Of course they did. They feared getting scored upon. But were they physically afraid of those guys? Not a chance. But I bet, Mark Messier, they were intimidated by you.
Probably not. They're big, strong guys. I don't know how much I intimidated them. They were a great bunch of hockey players.
Yeah, they were, but I think a lot. That was part of your job, right? To be more physical probably than some of the great finesse players?
Yeah, I think everybody has to take on different roles when you play in an all-star team like that. Sometimes you get asked to do different things than you normally would do, so that was a way that we could contribute to that team as being more of a defensive, hard line to play against.
So 1987 was the year and the Cold War was still being fought. How did your passion for this tournament at the time compare to the Stanley Cup Finals, which you had played in just 2 months earlier? How would you compare the two?
Well, I first got my Canadian experience and the passion and pride of hockey in Canada in the '72 series when I was 11 years old. That was my first time I can remember really understanding what hockey meant to Canadians, the pride that the hockey players could instill in all Canadians. And so by the time I got into '84 series and then of course the '87 series, I had a good understanding of what we're up against and what it meant to all of us, especially the country playing in those series.
So for you, was this over-the-top passionate playing with the pride and a certain amount of anger as well? Because, I mean, let's face it, these were the Russians.
Absolutely. It was win at all costs. It was us against them. I guess two ideologies that were colliding. You know, we felt that we were the best. They were comparing some of their players to being better than Wayne Gretzky, and so that was probably a good motivator for us.
Now, you weren't invited to the barbecue that Wayne had, and Larionov was talking about it as well. He was there. How come you, Gretz's buddy, weren't invited?
Wayne knew better. Good thing I probably wouldn't have been the best house guest at that particular party.
Because this was, you actually hated these guys, right? And this was before the final had been played, right? So you wanted nothing to do with them?
I wouldn't say hated them. I respected them a lot. I loved the Russian hockey players growing up and watching them in '72, and had a tremendous amount of respect for the way they played. But you know, during the competition, you know, I wanted to win and you know, win at all costs. So, like I say, I probably wouldn't have been the best house guest at that particular barbecue. But I admire Wayne for bridging the gap and doing what he did, and that's why what makes Wayne Gretzky.
Wasn't it weird playing for Mike Keenan since you had just beaten the Philadelphia Flyers, his team, 2 months earlier in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals? Wasn't that kind of a bit weird?
Oh, weird. I don't know, weird. You know, we knew that Mike had a lot of success. Obviously, his teams were very tough to play against, and so I was actually quite intrigued to get together with Mike and get to know him and see how he did coach. And so, you know, it wasn't strange more than a curiosity for me personally.
Okay, so this was all about asking one question. I'm dying to know, 1987, what would you have worn to the arena? I mean, you were a stylish guy. What was Messier wearing back then?
Leather pants, leather jacket, open collar, maybe a pair of boots, something like that. I don't know.
So technically you were actually auditioning for the Village People back then.
It wouldn't have been Village People, but some more of a Harley.